has only one proton in its nucleus, so it won't feel any repulsive forces by nearby protons. Hydrogen is the only atom that can do this. All other atoms must have neutrons in their nucleus to keep it together. But from now on, we're going to ignore the neutrons in building our atoms to make our video easier to follow. Let's remember, though, that neutrons are found in all atoms that have more than one proton. How do we make the third atom, lithium? How about with 3 protons and 3 electrons? That's correct. But we've got another problem, Houston. Electrons live in shells that are wrapped around the nucleus, and the first shell can take only 2 electrons before it becomes full. So lithium has too many electrons to squeeze them all into the first shell. Luckily, there are plenty of shells available. So after 2 electrons fill the first shell, the extra electron can go into the next shell. This second shell is bigger than the first shell and can take up to 8 electrons. This is like a strange hotel that has only 2 beds on its first floor. So after 2 guests are booked in, extra guests have to be sent to the higher floor. The hotel's second floor has 8 beds, and so after the next 8 guests book in, this floor is also full. A lithium atom has 3 protons in its nucleus, 2 electrons in its first shell, and 1 electron in its second shell. The number of electrons in each shell is incredibly important because it affects the properties of the element and how it will behave in the world. For example, lithium is a metal because it has a single electron in its shell. We will explain how this happens later. The number of electrons in each shell of an atom is called its electron configuration. You should ask your parents if they know what electron configuration means. They're really cool words to learn. The electron configuration of lithium is 2 electrons in the first shell and 1 electron in the second shell. Or sometimes scientists just write 2, 1 for short. We're on a roll here. What is atom number 4, and how many protons and electrons does it have, and where do they live? Did you say beryllium, with 4 protons and 4 electrons? With all 4 protons living in its nucleus, 2 electrons in its first shell, and 2 in its second shell. If so, you can move to grade 11 in high school. Beryllium's electron configuration is 2, 2. 2 electrons in the first shell and 2 electrons in the second shell. Next atom is number 5, boron. It has 5 protons and 5 electrons. 2 electrons in its first shell and 3 electrons in its second shell. Its electron configuration is 2, 3. Then number 6, carbon. 6 protons and 6 electrons. Its electron configuration is 2, 4. Do you notice a pattern here? The number of the atom, its atomic number, is always the same as the number of protons in its nucleus. Earlier we learnt that atomic number meant the place of an atom in the list of atoms from the lightest to the heaviest. When scientists discovered these subatomic particles, they realized that atomic number was also exactly equal to the number of protons in the nucleus. It means that an atom's identity, that is, whether it is hydrogen or aluminium or gold, depends only on how many protons are in its nucleus. The atomic number of an atom is equal to the number of protons in its nucleus. In an atom. However, electrons can sometimes be swiped off the outside shell of an atom, or an atom may grab an extra electron or two. So this number of electrons can vary from time to time. Protons live in the nucleus, which is locked away from the outside world, and their numbers don't vary, usually. This is a better definition. Let's use up the rest of our protons and electrons. Number 7, nitrogen. 7 protons and 7 electrons. Electron configuration, 2, 5. 2 electrons in the first shell and 5 in the second shell. Number 8, oxygen. 8 protons and 8 electrons. Electron configuration, 2, 6. 2 electrons in the first shell and 6 in the second shell. Number 9, fluorine. 9 shell. Number 10, neon. 10 protons and 10 electrons. Electron configuration, 2, 8. 2 electrons in the first shell and 8 in the second shell. Remember how many electrons that the second shell can take before it's full? 8. This means that neon's second shell is full. This has important consequences for neon and makes it an unreactive noble gas. We will explain why this happens later. Can you guess what might happen if we had another proton and electron? Where would the electron go? And what element is this? We've just built atoms of the first 10 elements on the periodic table. Each one has a different number of protons and electrons, and a different electron configuration too. As you learn more about atoms, you will discover that these elements are what they are because of these protons and electrons, and how they were put together. For example, hydrogen is an explosive gas because it has just one electron in its outer shell, and helium is an unexplosive gas because it has 2 electrons in its outer shell. And lithium is a shiny metal because it has an electron configuration of 2, 1. We will explain how this works later. Our world is as it is because of these little subatomic particles and how they are arranged. That is, because of atomic structure.
الشياطين. الشياطين رواية من تأليف الكاتب الروسي فيودور دستويفسكي، الذي ولد عام 1821 وتوفي عام 1881. كان لأعماله أثر عميق في الأدب العالمي أواخر القرن 19 والقرن 20، وشخصياته دوما في حالة اليأس وعلى حافة الهاوية، ويذهب عميقا في تحليل النفس البشرية، إضافة إلى النظرة الثاقبة في أحوال روسيا الاجتماعية والسياسية. الشياطين رواية سياسية كما يتفق النقاد، والفكرة التي عبرت عنها هي أن ثمة ما يتحرك في الفكر الروسي، والسلطات تخشى ذا في الروسي، وتدور الأحداث بين عزبة ستيبان فراخوفينسكي وعزبة باربارا ستافروغين. ابن ستيبان شاب ثوري يسعى إلى تشكيل شبكة من الثوريين، فيضم نيكولاي ابن باربارا، والأخير كاره للبشر وللحياة، وهو الأنسب للعمل الإرهابي، ويمكن تكليفه بأعمال إرهابية أو انتحارية، ويزداد عدد أفراد الشبكة، ويزداد معها الانشقاق والاتجاهات الفكرية المتضاربة التي تمثل سجالات روسيا ونقاشاتها في ذلك الزمان. وينتهي أمر الشبكة حين تآمروا على قتل أحد رفاقهم، لكي يصبح هذا القتل هو الشراكة التي توثق عرى الشبكة. ولكن سرعان ما تكتشفها السلطات، فيهرب البعض ويلقى القبض على الباقي، وتجري محاكمتهم ونفيهم إلى سجون سيبيريا. الجدير ذكره أن دستويفسكي كان عضوا في تنظيم ثوري عرف باسم جماعة دائرة بتراشيفسكي، وحكم على أعضائها بالإعدام، وتم خفض الحكم إلى النفي إلى سيبيريا ل4 سنوات. ولا شك أن المنفى لعب دورا في تشكيل أفكاره. ويلاحظ النقاد أن انتقاد دوستويفسكي للاتجاه الثوري وللأحزاب والشبكات لا يعني موافقته أو رضاه عن القيصرية،